Hi everyone, welcome back to Tales of Gear. Thanks for joining. Today's video is about the A2 project, which is officially over. If you have watched my last video, I gave the update on things. I've explained what things went wrong, and also I have announced a couple of things I'm gonna do to correct all the imperfections that occurred in the last phase of this project. So today's video will be about those few steps I had to do to come to the finish of this project. Mainly it will be about the front sight base, which I've changed out, and a couple other small things, and I will also explain what happened in the last phase and why I couldn't install the handguards and what was actually going on. I managed to figure out what went wrong. So here is the receiver. New thing on it is the rear side. It was pointed out to me in a comment that the stock VFC rear side is actually more for the M4 and the detachable carry handle rather than the correct one for the M16A2. After some checking, this turned out to be true, and I'm very grateful for this comment and the person who commented on this. This was a detail I have missed, and in order to be clone correct, I've installed a original real steel rear sight. It wasn't cheap, but it really does make a difference. As you can see here, it was a drop-in fit, no modifications required. It looks just beautiful on the gun. It is not black, it's more grayish steel, of course. The wheel here is aluminum. This is the way it should be. Now this part of the upper is fully complete. As if you remember, I've installed a real forward assist, real dust cover. Everything blends in nicely, and here we have also the original delta ring, 85 faded handguards, real steel handguard cap, and here it is, the new front sight base. I will get into that in a second. We have the DNA outer barrel, steel barrel, and original flash hider with the peel washers. Now, why did I install the original delta ring? Because the original one, as you know, it is very difficult to take off the handguards, and look what I did in a second. Handguard is off, and it's also easy to do it with the other one. So this was the reason why I've changed out to the real steel one. However, in order to do that, I had to modify it. And also I have figured out what went wrong in my last attempt when installing the front sight base, and why the handguards didn't fit and why this space here was too narrow. Let me talk about that first, then I'll go over to the modifications of the delta ring. So the first time I've installed the real steel front sight base, what I did was I kept the original cap, simply pushed it all the way on this part of the barrel, as you know, aligned everything, drilled the holes, and installed the front sight base, right? And I've kept the original VFC delta ring just to make sure the handguards fit. As I wanted to install the handguards, I couldn't push back the delta ring enough so that they go in. I was surprised, I didn't understand what happened, and then I remembered that I have changed out the barrel extension. In my last video I've blamed the barrel extension to be the cause of these issues. Well, however, after checking, turns out the barrel extension has nothing to do with it. the barrel extension is flush with the end of the threads of the upper receiver, so it can't be the cause. Also, after checking the front side here, I've noticed that this thicker part of the barrel, its front part here, turns out to be 1 millimeter short. If you install the DNA barrel, the DNA front side base, cap, etc., you won't notice this. It will fit everything perfectly with the holes on the barrel, etc., and the handguards will fit, everything will be alright with the VFC handguards. And if you start messing around with it, install the real steel front side base, the cap, etc., delta ring, you will get into trouble. You won't be able to put on the handguards. The reason is simply this part of the barrel should be longer, 1 millimeter, so you can install the real steel parts. The solution was, first I could have welded on a thin weld and grind it, etc. But 1 millimeter, that's, with the tools I have, actually a big challenge, and I think I would have created a mess there. So what I did was I've installed, I don't know if you can see it, you see this shiny part here, this little ring, that's actually copper wire, 1 millimeter thick. It was the perfect thickness to fill up the space without welding. Now the ring is rock solid, absolutely no movement. The sight is installed, the handguards go on without any problems, they are rock solid inside. And yeah, this is the cause for my troubles in the last attempt. Now it's all corrected, as I've said. Very happy that I could find an easy fix for this. Now, as for the delta ring, you will see a difference between the real steel delta ring and the airsoft. Let's take a look. As you can see, the airsoft, the VFC version, has some sort of blank part without threads, which go over the threads, and they stop on the threads that are on the receiver. I think VFC made something like a stopper on the end of the threads, so that you can thread screw on the delta ring, the VFC delta ring, to the stop, and it will perfectly align for installing the gas tube. That's good, but you don't get any torque on the delta ring, and this is, I assume, the reason why VFC has glued in the delta ring, so it doesn't come loose. Well, with this modification on this original delta ring, I've managed to get some torque, and now it's all perfectly aligned and won't come off, and it looks good. Well, you have seen the pictures. If you have any questions about that, let me know in the comments below. And now for the part I've spent like 5 hours yesterday working on it. Before I continue with that, and you see some very disturbing pictures, Please note, I'm not a professional gunsmith. I'm an amateur. I don't work with real guns. These are airsoft replicas, GBBRs. And some things I do are okay to do because these are replicas and not real guns. So don't apply anything I'm doing here on real guns. Consult with your gunsmith if you have any issues that are related with the front sight base. Okay, you get the picture. Now, that being said, let me tell you what I've done and show you also a few pictures that I took while working on it. Why did it take 5 hours? Well, this is my second attempt to do that. My first attempt in installing tapered pins, making tapered holes, welding the front sight base itself. You will see there is a lot of it going on. So in my last video I've said I will change it out with this called front sight base. This was actually for the A1, for the slim barrel, and in the first phase a couple of months ago I've drilled out the holes so it fits on this thicker barrel. Yes, this exists. The early A2s had these Colts. I think a couple of weeks ago there was a listing on eBay. Someone was selling the barrel with this front sight and delta ring as vintage Colt, and yeah, that's a thing. It exists. It's hard to get just the original A2 Colt like this one. Once that was done, after taking off the previous real steel front sight base, I had to weld shut the slots that looks like this. I know, it looks terrible. After some grinding and making it pretty again with some cold blue, it actually turns out good. Even the finish blends in somehow with the original DNA finish. Well, lucky for me, most of the part that I've modified and was grinding and then cold bluing is underneath the front sight base. So if you're careful and don't mess up with this part that isn't covered, you're actually good. It looks like this. Next thing was to align the front sight base and start drilling the holes. In order to install the tapered pins, I had to go from the right side to the left side so that this part, these two holes here are wider than the ones on the other side. The trickiest part was to actually fix this assembly here into the vise or whatever to align it perfectly in all axes to get the holes as they should be. This took me the most of the time. I knew I had one shot. If I do this step wrong, everything will go wrong. So I've invested a lot of time and nerves and patience to do that, and yeah, I've drilled the holes. Yeah, you have seen here just a short clip how this looked, and I was not surprised to get this result after putting in the pins. You can see this here. And no, it's not really my fault. Everything was aligned as it should be. The problem was that this frontside base was perhaps installed twice, with each time new holes drilled, and yeah, you get this gap. This one is kind of good, but this one here was way worse. Let's see some pics. Almost like a complete new hole above the pin. I couldn't leave it that way, and just as I thought I'm done with it, it's over, I had to take everything off to think about how I'm gonna weld this hole shut without ruining the slot for the pin. Well, I did it. I've inserted a ring, a brass ring inside, so the weld doesn't go all over and just covers the hole. You have seen the pics. Then I did some grinding and refinishing with cold blue, and it turned out nice. I would say, considering what I had to do with the tools I had, this turned out nice. I kind of regret not doing this other pin in this hole as well, but after so many hours of work I just was too exhausted, and I knew if I force it I might just make things worse, ruin the good things I've done so far, so I've left it as it is. I may tackle that at some later point, I will see, but yeah, original tapered pins are installed, everything is rock solid, no movement, side is straight, and this marked also the end of this project. So it was a long way to do everything, mostly because I didn't have time to work on it, and the other thing was the EMS package that traveled 2 months with the parts I needed to finish it. This brings us to the end of this video. If you stayed all the way till the end, thank you for that. If you have any questions regarding this project, please comment in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, thanks for watching. Wish you a great day and see you in the next video. Bye.